This is Hollywood Joe from Hollywood's World of Sports, coming to you with another edition of Hollywood's Hot Topics. Now, as you all know, there have been plans to start the NBA season and MLB season at the end of July. The NHL also had its draft lottery picks this past week. And I got to tell you, with everything that's gone on in the last 3 to 4 weeks and even months now, uh, I've had this feeling in my head and in my heart that the big four of MLB, NBA, NFL, and NHL are really going to struggle. Um, I got to tell you that sports fans that I've talked to personally, they don't want to hear people about, arguing about money. They don't want to hear about politics being drug into sports. They don't want to. They don't turn on ESPN and Fox Sports to hear about political news. I got to tell you though, I understand there was a lot of social issues going on in this country right now, and I totally get it. I understand it. I respect it, but the social issues, um, there's a time and there's a place for that. If you want to go on Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, CBS News, whatever it may be, you want to air your opinions and your views and your feelings. I'm all for that. I should not have to turn on ESPN and Fox Sports and be have to hear about political stuff on my new on the sports channels. That's just how I'm made. I love sports for the sport itself. I don't care what an athlete's political views are. I don't care what an athlete's religious beliefs are. I don't care. And in my opinion, they're, between athletes, you know, bickering about money and athletes, um, focusing on other things rather than the sport itself, it's going to drive people away from the sport. MLB, I know a lot of people have just kind of washed their hands of baseball because they spent months and months arguing about money when they could have gotten the season started by now. You have the NBA, who's supposed to start in end of July as well, but you have players from various teams sitting out due to the COVID pandemic. The NHL totally screwed up the draft lottery this past week by somehow allowing a playoff team to get the number one overall pick. Um, I don't understand that. I think the NHL shot themselves in the foot with how they handled the draft lottery for this upcoming draft. I don't think it's going to be good. It's not going to be pretty. Hockey fans are irate, as they should be. Um, the only sport that can really that's really safe right now is the NFL. Uh, the pandemic hasn't affected their season yet. Um, you know, um, but like I said, you have other sports that are um, putting too much time into political stuff, like NASCAR. Love NASCAR to death. I love Bubba Wallace. Don't get me wrong about that. I think he's a great, great guy. I love listening to his interviews and really hope everybody, I root for him every week because I'd like to see him win a race. But some of the stuff that's gone on in NASCAR over the last week has been a complete turnoff. I hate to say that, but it's um, people don't tune into NASCAR to hear about racism and oppression and political stuff. Um, I have mixed feelings on everything that happened because it seems like the story keeps changing from one day to the next, and I am one of those people that doesn't trust the media at all, no matter what outlet it is, because I think they're all biased and have an agenda. That's just how I feel about it. Um, so even NASCAR has been kind of a turnoff for people because it jumped into the whole political, social aspect. And like I said, if athletes want to speak out, on their own time, I'm I'm all for that. But people tune in to sporting events to get away from that stuff. They get away. They use it to get away from the everyday stresses and worries and anxieties of life. They don't want they don't want divisive issues coming into their sports. And if sports like Major League Baseball, the National Basketball Association, National Football League, NASCAR, if sports keep if sports keep using political and social issues to divide this country further, they're going to have a hard time. Okay, there people are not going to want to tune in to watch a game and hear political and social commentary. I hate to say that. Um, I like I said, I do believe that all that stuff is important, but there's a time and a place for it, and a sporting event is not one of them. Um, like there's a guy, there's a reason why smaller sports like bowling and cornhole are getting the best viewership they've ever gotten. They don't bicker about money. They leave the politics at home, and they're just entertaining to watch. They have very unique personalities in both sports. And so I really think you're going to see smaller sports like a bowling, like a cornhole, like a, ultimate disc football, or, whatever odd sport might be out there. I think you're going to start seeing sports like that rise in viewership and rise in ratings because those sports aren't greedy. They're not politically driven, and people want to watch stuff that's that doesn't involve people bickering about money or people bickering about their, political stances. Uh, I hate to say that, but it's the truth. And um, I don't know. It's just like I said. I applaud players that want to take a stand and speak out and try to better their communities. I'm all for that. But um, like I said, there's a time and a place for it. And when I turn on my TV to watch a sporting event, I want to watch a sporting event. I don't want to hear about anything else. To me, that is my time to escape from reality, escape from, like I said, escape from the everyday stresses and worries and anxieties of life. I should be able to enjoy my sports without all the drama and BS and greed. Um, so that's just something that's been on my mind lately. I really do think sports are going to struggle if they don't tone it down a little bit. Um, I really think the major sports are going to they're going to, like I said, they're going to start declining. because nobody wants to hear about. Like I said, and I can keep saying it till I'm blue in the face. Nobody wants to hear athletes complain about money. No one wants to hear about an athlete's political views. Nobody wants to hear about it. Nobody cares. And so I really hope, once baseball and basketball get going again, we can focus on baseball and basketball. And that's the same with football. Once football gets going again, I hope we can focus on football, because if they can't focus on the sport, if they're going to take focus off the sport and put focus on greed and politics, fans are not going to tune in. So I really hope each sports organization figures out and understands what the fans tune in for, and hopefully we can make sports better again. So, with that being said, this is Hollywood Joe from Hollywood's World of Sports. As always, check me out at hollywoodsworldofsports.com and all my social media outlets. Remember, controversy doesn't come without criticism.